you guys are sitting there and you're seeing Justin Fields fall, is there any part of you that is at that point thinking maybe we should just take a shot and go get this guy because that's a top level talent that's dropping like almost right to us. You're a Giants fan, just so everyone knows. Like, was there a point where you were just like, let's just go get him? Fuck it.
Yeah, I think the Giants were in a really interesting spot with that pick because Fields fell to them, which allowed them to get that trade package from Chicago, which I think that besides the San Francisco trading up to 3 was probably the best haul out of this draft in terms of trades. It's interesting because Fields, once you make the pick itself nosedives in value, right? Once you pick a player, no matter who it is, you've put a name. You've suddenly gotten rid of the mystique of whether or not this is a pick versus now you have a specific person with actual pros and cons, actual strengths and weaknesses. And I think the idea of taking Fields and replacing Daniel Jones is intoxicating. But you mentioned, that there's a crop of quarterbacks coming out next year, headlined by Spencer Rattler. And, over the next few years, there should be a bunch of good quarterbacks that come out. From a team building perspective, to jump back to what Andrew was saying, I think that if you're a team that's not in a position to take a young quarterback, plug and play him, then it's not a good fit. Chicago is in a better spot to plug and play Justin Fields, and they don't even have to because they have Andy Dalton. I think the Giants are better off giving Daniel Jones one more year to let him develop, get extra draft picks to surround Daniel Jones with talent. And if next year turns out that Daniel Jones isn't the guy, you decline his option. You decline his final year option. You draft a quarterback in the first round, and you got trade value for the spot, as opposed to being stuck with Daniel Jones, who by that point is going to be untradeable because who the hell nobody wants Daniel Jones now. Like,
dude,
what are you going to trade Daniel Jones for? A 7th-round pick?
Like, can we be real about
the Raiders? The Raiders might do it.
Okay, well, yeah.
But you got that pick, the Giants got a 4th, a 5th, and a 1st. Just to move down.
I mean, the way you gauge it, right? The way you gauge it is if Daniel Jones today is a free agent. No, there's not a team in the league, not a single one that would sign him to be even a stopgap starter. You would think, he wouldn't even be the stopgap. He is backup and below. That is Daniel Jones' positioning amongst NFL quarterbacks. And again, part of it is because he was overrated coming out of college. Another part of it is he went to a bad situation. And again, he's just not that as talented as people thought he was, which is fine.
He's athletic, but it's what the issue is with Daniel Jones is he's intoxicating. He's athletic, he's got the arm, but it's just there's something, the game moves too quick for him. There's something about what's going on above the shoulders with Daniel Jones making reads, making progressions, staying strong in the pocket. There's just something about the decision making of Daniel Jones that makes his talent, which is is unquestionable. He's got athleticism, he's got an arm, but I don't know what he's doing out there. His accuracy is not great. He's not a great deep ball thrower. Now he has weapons. Presumably
he's got Kadarius Toney. That's all you guys needed. You guys are over the hump. 7-9 or 7-10 for the playoffs, baby.
Don't hate on Kenny Galladay. Don't hate on Kelly Galladay. That's a bona fide stud.
I'm hating on Kadarius fucking Toney at 11th and 12th overall. Come on.
They were gonna take what's his name to the Eagles before the Eagles moved up to the spot ahead and took him, the receiver. Because reports came out, they were real mad that the Eagles and Cowboys made that trade.
Oh, Devontae Smith.
Yeah. The Giants were set on taking Devontae Smith. I think this is supported by Schefter. But the Eagles.
Someone was going to trade up to get him. So the fact that he felt somebody was going to trade up to get. You shouldn't be mad at the Eagles. You should be mad at yourself for not trying to trade up earlier.
What did it for them was Jerry's guy, which was Patrick Surtain. Once he came off the board, that was it. Jerry was like, I'm not staying here.
Yeah, the dominoes fell after that. That was he wanted to get out immediately.
The draft boards were set. The Giants probably had their draft board fucking set, and then the minute Surtain came off the board, everything just
Dude, the thing is it was so universal though that Surtain was going to the Cowboys. every single mock draft you saw Surtain, the Cowboys were actively like saying, we are drafting Patrick Surtain. It's like not even a question. He's going to fall to us. And like
Jerry already had the jerseys made up. Jerry's got to send them over to he's got to send them over to Uganda or something because he has no use for them.
Yeah. So on Daniel Jones, I think it was the best decision that you could have made in that moment because that pick has infinitely more trade value than Daniel Jones does. And I'm not sure we are in a position to maximize what Justin Fields has to offer. And so I'm willing to give Daniel Jones one more year.
He could maximize what you guys have to offer in a big way.
But we'll see. We'll see. You know, the book is still out on him. We don't know what Justin Fields is going to become.
Turns into a Hall of Famer. Johnny's just like,
hey, if he turns into a Hall of Famer.
Daniel Jones for years.
if Fields turns into a Hall of Famer, I don't know what to tell you. You know, everyone has question marks on Field. There's a reason that three other quarterbacks went ahead of him on the draft. I think he's a good.
You know what the reason is? You know what the reason? We broke that down. You know what the reason is? Oh, he does. His work ethic is lacking. Oh, he's not a leader. His IQ is low. It's the same bullshit we've heard about black quarterbacks for the past 50, 60, whatever years.
He's last in, first out. He's got
and all of that
no
was told.
ethic.
Like everyone who came out, all those sources that apparently said that, they all came out and said that's 100% false. Like if you all you had to do is watch the games and you would know that Justin Fields was the unsung hero of that, or the leader of that team. Like it's not even a question. Like
I'm not disagreeing with any of that. I'm just saying that you literally can never know about rookie quarterbacks. That's all I'm saying.
I didn't.
You never know.
It was the Ohio State stigma.
I didn't.
It was the Ohio State stigma. He was suffering from the failed NFL careers of Cardell Jones and J.T. Barrett and Dewey Haskins.
I think that's true.
He was the victim. And fucking who was it? Years back, Terrell Pryor. He had to suffer, and his draft stock took a plummet because people were like, "What if we are getting another one of these guys?"
I think that's the real reason.
I think,
and
I
love Justin Fields.
Oh my god, when was the last time fucking
I was on this
or BYU developed
podcast.
a great quarterback? Come on, BYU and Duke. Like, come on, man. Like this is it's bull. People just want to like. I'm not saying you guys are guilty or Johnny, you are, but it's like these experts. They just want to just pick out these random details and say, oh well, you know, this hurts him because he apparently was at this school. Instead of watching the goddamn film, you watch the goddamn film. It's not even a question. He was at least the second best quarterback.
Take it easy. Take it easy. I'm gonna backpedal. Take it easy. There are some schools that do more of a detriment to their players than they do good.
I'm not saying that's untrue, Andrew. I'm not saying that's untrue, but I'm saying it's selective. People like to do that selectively because sometimes the play on the field and the ability that you is very clear to see overrides that, right? Because like you would agree with me with the Justin Fields thing. Like you can say that about a lot of quarterbacks from like where I don't know, like you say that about like quarterbacks from I don't know, enter school here, but like there's plenty of picks, like there's plenty of people like that who are just like good. You know that. Like LSU. When was the last time LSU developed like a great quarterback? Other than Joe Burrow. But when Joe Burrow was there, when Joe Burrow came out in the draft, he was the number 1 overall pick. It was not even a question. But you're telling me that Justin Fields, now he's got the stigma against him, right? Because like, but LSU never developed a great quarterback in recent memory.
No, but we were talking the same about Mac Jones in Alabama. That Alabama never develops good quarterbacks, and they always
that wasn't
boys and men.
No, but that wasn't the narrative in NFL circles. You know what the narrative was? How the San Francisco 49ers are going to pick him 3rd overall. You know what the narrative was about Mac Jones? Oh, he's got the best IQ in the NFL of all these rookie quarterbacks. You know what the narrative was? He's got a great arm. Look at what he did with all the talent around him.
The other team's playbook. He could tell you, he can memorize your playbook and the other team's playbook. He can tell your defense what fucking play is coming because he has the other team's playbook memorized.
But what came out about Justin Fields was, oh, he's work hard enough. He doesn't have the football IQ. It's the same stereotypical tropes that we've seen that have tried to hurt black quarterbacks in the past. Like it was so obvious, dude. It was so obvious. Like watch the damn games. Like it's not that hard. I'm sorry, it's not that I do. Watch the damn games. It was so clear that he was the second best quarterback in that draft.
You're not going to get me to disagree with that. I'm on this podcast saying that I thought that he was the second best quarterback in this draft. I know it's been a while. Don't get me wrong here. Law school's a bitch. But I was on this podcast saying that I thought that he was the second best quarterback in this draft. Obviously, Trey Lance, also a black quarterback. He has only played 6, 7, 8, 9 games. He's a bit of a wild card. We don't really know what he's going to be. He's probably not going to start right away. I think the Niners are going to keep Garoppolo. But in terms of the Giants, like to return back to where we were, in terms of the Giants, I didn't think that Justin Fields was as good of a fit as he was in Chicago. I think personally that Justin Fields can walk into Chicago, beat out Andy Dalton for that job, and lead them to the playoffs. That he could be what Russell Wilson was for the Seahawks right away, because they have a team that in place, their defense is elite, their offensive line is good, they have offensive weapons around him, and all they need is a dynamic playmaker at the quarterback position, which is the shot in the arm that Russell Wilson gave the Seahawks to lead them to 2 Super Bowl appearances and 1 title. I think that the same can be said of Justin Fields and the Chicago Bears. So we'll see how that works out for them. But if you're putting Wilson, if you're putting Fields on the Giants, I don't think that it works the same way. I don't think that the infrastructure is there. I don't think that the team is good enough to make his strengths pop. And I think that if his strengths aren't going to pop, you're looking at more RG3 with the Washington football team than you are, or Marcus Mariota with the Titans than you are Russell Wilson with the Seahawks.
Thanks for watching this video from Real Take Sports Talk. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. Also, remember to check out our live show every single Thursday at 8 p.m. right here on the YouTube channel. And remember, keep it real.